All right, so today I'm going on the adventure of assembling a pedal board. Even though guitar is not my primary instrument, I've always played guitar and I use it as a tool for writing. But also here in the studio, I think it is critically important to have basically a super efficient setup to be able to pick up a guitar and lay down an idea and have it be something that can be kept. At the very least, it can be a great placeholder that really gets the point across. And then when you want to do the final version, it's also very simple. And then there's like the other considerations like, well, you know, I don't like to see cables on the floor. So cable management, just the chaos of just having random pedals everywhere. It's time to clean it up. It's time to make a pedal board. I'll explain to you the broader concept of how the pedal board will fit into the studio here in my home studio and how I'm hoping to use it. And let me know some of your favorite pedals down in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Let's get into it. So I've got all of my amps in one spot now. And by all, I mean there's 2 guitar amps and then the bass amp. I'm not like an expert guitar player or anything. I use them for the sake of recording and producing, but there's a couple things that I'm interested in that I want to try. And one of them is inspired by my friend Chris, and it's essentially having a amp switcher setup. Essentially having all the amps on. And here's the signal flow. You go guitar, my guitar's over there, plugs to pedal board. We'll come back to that in a sec. Pedal board into amp switcher. An amp switcher goes to all of the amps, and then the outputs of all the amps go back to the switcher and then out to a load box. So there's essentially one input that goes to everything, and you can just flip between them, and you can either come out the cabs to the mic or out to a load box. Now I don't have a load box here set up yet, but some stuff just came in. So we're gonna go through that. Part 2 to this is I want to finally commit to a pedal board. This is literally just a piece of rubber. Now I have some pedals. I wanna make some commitments to some things, and then I wanna leave some options open, and I have no idea what I'm doing. So let's go for the ride. I picked up a couple new things here. I got this little tuner. This thing looks pretty slick. It's really small on the pedal board, not take up too much space, but the majority of the pedals is screen, so I like that. Got some cables here, speaker cables, speak on 1/4 inch. I think these are headphone boxes for another project. And let's see what's in here. All right, first, pedal train, and then aux box. Okay, but here's the pedal board. This is just, as you can see, it's not full. And I think that's okay. There's room to experiment and to have fun, but let's get into it. I showed you some of the pedals I'm using already. We've got the tuner, the boost, compressor from Earthquaker Devices, Protein, Overdrive, the Juliana, of course, vibrato, it's beautiful. Got a delay pedal here from Walrus Audio, the Golden Reverberator, just a straight up spring plate hall reverb. Simple. And then the DL4 from line 6, old original one. And I put this on here. Yeah, there's 2 delay pedals. This one is really just because it has the looper, and I love when we're writing and stuff to be able to have the ability to loop some things. This goes around to the amps, and then this is the IEC cable. But if we look underneath here, you can see it's not bad. I mounted this incorrectly, so you guys can roast me down in the comments for mounting it incorrectly, but however it is mounted, so kind of don't care. Then we've got audio going between the pedals. I'll show you the cables that I use in a second here, and then the power. As you can see, I'm routing them along the bars here using these little, gosh, what are these called? Can't remember them. Let me know down in the comments. You know what these things are. But anyway, yeah, this just kind of grabs onto them so that it's not a mess, and it's just one solid unit that I can pick up, set out of the way. The point is we have power being routed in some cases directly to the pedals. and those lines are separate from the audio lines as much as possible to lower our noise interference chances. I had some like old patch cables. This is just like an old kind of random short guitar cable that's going from back here up here, and it kind of goes around the board and up out of the way. The other patch cables I was using were these patch cables, which are pretty common. I think these are probably the cheaper ones you can get. These are incredible for pedal boards. Look at this connection point here. It is so slick. So you can fit them perfectly in between two pedals that are very close to one another. It just makes it a lot easier when you're moving things around. It looks better. And I mean, I gotta admit, these are all new, so it's hard to know if there's gonna be issues, but theoretically, if they're not being moved around much, it won't be an issue. But those cables are made by Ernie Ball, flat ribbon patch cables. And again, I'm not like a super experienced guitar techie kind of guy, so I'm sure you'll have some experience. You can let me know down in the comments as far as how long they last and durability and all that. But my guess is since it's gonna be zip tied, that's what they're called, yes. Since they're zip tied to the pedal board, it's kind of not gonna matter a whole lot because, it's not moving around. So yeah, I think this is really, it's not that complicated. It's just, you want to get the power right. I'm no expert in power, but I did figure out which pedals need which specific types of amperage and watts and all that, and getting volts. I'm trying to think of other electrical terms. This one needs much higher milliamps out of it. I think it's 12 volt and needs like at least 300 milliamps, something like that. Don't quote me. This one needs more. The others, like these, all rock at 9 volt, just standard, and this one as well. But that one spot is great for having the isolated power, so you get really clean signal from all of them. I'm just, I got this rocking. Look how clean it is. The only cable you can see here is just my little headphone thing hanging. It's really conducive to working and trying to just be super fast and agile in the studio for writing. It's right there. So if I'm playing and I'm sitting there, or if somebody else is next to me and they're playing, they can just turn it a little bit or whatever. And everything is really, really dialed in. So that's my pedal board. Went pretty well. I was nervous about that kind of stuff, messing it up. You guys judging me. You guys are so judgmental sometimes. That's okay. I am too. Yeah, pedals, man. Let me know some recommendations. I love finding new pedals for different styles of music and stuff. I've always wanted to try out the Strymon stuff. I don't have any Strymon stuff yet. I'm also thinking about getting Fender Deluxe. So I think that would be a really solid addition, and maybe some other stuff as far as guitar goes. I think maybe I'll talk about it in another video, of just like the absurdity of having too much gear and getting distracted by it, but also the value of using things that just work and not having to get distracted in trying to make the one amp you have sound right, just picking the right tool for the right job. Hope you guys liked this video. Getting towards the end of the year. Hope you guys had a good year. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to Sweetwater for sponsoring this video. The guy that I talked to at Sweetwater is a guitar player and is tremendously helpful in this kind of stuff. So if you guys are looking for some gear, I have links to, again, all the stuff I use down in the description. A special shout out to Rhett Scholl for having great guitar content, being helpful in just this category in general. I've always wanted to be a guitar player. I've always wanted to be very good at guitar. I love exploring this stuff, figuring out new ways to get better at it. So yeah, good stuff. Okay, goodbye guys.